If you are a CEO and you're paying for your developers to write code, you are wasting your money. Matter of fact, you're not wasting your money. You're wasting your investors' money. Hey, welcome to the Velocity Lab. I am Dave.
And I'm Dan. Today we're going to talk about picking a tool and adopting it now.
Yeah, so Dan and I are consultants. We have a wide variety of clients. We have a one-person startup for a client. We have a Fortune 500 for a client. We are telling, as of now, and this was not last month, as of now, we are telling every single client, and specifically CEOs, we're telling them this: you need to adopt autonomous coding immediately. There is no org that's too small or too large, only ones that are behind. A month ago, the technology was not there. Now the technology is here. There are two tools that we know of. Devin, we're recommending. Devin is a managed one, commercial. Shipwright is ours, open source. The reason why we're at this moment, we've changed our entire plan is because they are developing high quality code. It's not AI slop, it's real development. So our belief at this moment is that if you are a CEO and you're paying for your developers to write code, you are wasting your money. Matter of fact, you're not wasting your money. You're wasting your investors' money. Right?
Sure.
Absolutely. So that's free. So CEOs are paying. We have some CEOs who are paying us to give us advice. We're also going to give it to you for free. Ask whoever's running engineering, have you looked into Devin? Have you looked into Shipwright? And if they whatever they say, ask them, why have you chose not to 10x your team? In the case of Shipwright, why have you chose not to 10x your team's performance? For free, because Shipwright is free.
Yeah,
how do you justify
you're using
that?
Claude code.
And by the way, here's another tip to CEOs. If you're like, hey, we went and looked at Shipwright, and I know it's going to 10x my team, I know it's free, but for whatever reason, I don't want to adopt it, find a new VP of engineering. Because you are going to fall behind. You are wasting money. Don't do it.
Yeah, you got to get on the train. That's for sure. No doubt.
And by the way, a month from now, this was not our advice to our CEOs, our clients who are CEOs. This was not our advice, right? But Devin now is going to raise their autonomous coding. They're raising $1 billion on a $25 billion valuation. We have clients that are Fortune 500 companies, all the way to one person again. Some are using Shipwright and coding autonomously. Some are using Devin and coding autonomously. Bottom line is, it doesn't matter how big your org is. We have clients that are in orgs that are coding autonomously.
Yeah. Beginning of the year, we were telling everybody, adopt Claude code. Choose one tool. I think the same thing is choose one tool, master that tool, then you can branch out. These tools are our foundation. So we're like, all right, everybody use Claude code. We, around the same time, started just pulling ourselves out of the loop. Maybe 50% of the time, we were paying attention to the code Claude was writing. 50% of the time, it was like moving to the background.
Yeah,
in the past 3 months, it's fully autonomous. Now, we stopped writing code last year. We stopped being in the loop watching Claude a few months ago.
Yeah.
And we're working, and now we're telling companies, you have to do this. It's the next step. So even up until a few months ago, we were still like, yeah, you got to use Claude code, which is still true because we're still building on top of Claude code. It's the foundation we've chosen to build on because it's the best tool. But now, everything's got to be autonomous.
Yeah. So listen, CEOs.
Your engineer it takes time. This 10x number, it's like you got to do it now. So in 3 months, you're 10x.
Yeah, because like the bottom line is you still have to have software and developers. We're not saying get rid of your software.
Yeah,
you still have to have
a lot of it is a human problem. You got to get all these people on board, and it's a process problem. You got to break all your processes because all your human processes are invalid now.
Yeah. So one of the things we've noticed, even in January, so basically we can consult with a bunch of engineering organizations. And one thing that was very clear, and this is way before autonomous coding, is that these management-heavy, top-down organizations are not going to succeed long-term. You need to flatten out your organization, right? Because you're going to be moving so much faster. Developers are so much more empowered to make change that having these super top-heavy, down, management-heavy organizations, they don't work anymore. You're going to have to flatten your org. That's another massive change you need to make. Another thing we talked about is that so you need to adopt now. You don't need a perfect plan. We can help you choose, right? Obviously, we think Shipwright's better. It's open source. It's free. It runs in your own infrastructure. Or Devin. But the bottom line is choose one and start that now because it's going to take a while to adopt. There's probably some smart person who said this in the past, but the bigger the change, the longer it takes for human beings to adopt, right? And this is a massive change. Telling developers that they're never going to write code again, they're only going to be planning and reviewing is a massive change. And it's going to take a while for your org to adopt. That's why we're saying you better treat this as a level 1 priority in your organization now. You don't want to wait 6 months and then decide, because if your competitors take this up now, you're in big trouble.
Yeah.
You're going to be far.
And honestly, it's not just paying Devin whatever it is per seat and installing it in GitHub. That isn't going to work either, right? You got to actually push your developers to use it, to figure out how to change the way they work. We can really help with this, so we know exactly how to do it. But you're really going to need a push. It's depending on the organization. There are some small, nimble startups, say Cursor, right?
Yeah.
These $1 billion 5-person startups that are just, all the people are just adopting out of the box. But if your org only has 10% of the engineers excited about this, you're going to really need a push. It's not just going to be like installing Shipwright or installing Devin. Because even with Claude Code, we've installed just Claude Code across the org. Some people use 0 tokens.
Yeah.
Some people use thousands of tokens, right? Or millions of tokens per week. You're really going to need a push to change. And it starts at the top.
It has to start.
Goes to planning, goes to engineers. Everybody is going to need to change the way they think.
Yeah. So CEOs, by the way, I keep saying CEO because this is a CEO's call. Developers are not going to say, hey, let's adopt this thing that takes away what you're paying me to do. So a lot of developers think they're getting paid to write code. That is incorrect. They're getting paid to plan. That is their thing, and that doesn't change. But developers and VPs of engineering they should.
Although I think if a developer is not saying that, that's a flag at this point.
That's a flag. Or if your VP of engineering is not like, dude, we need you to be, I don't know, I said, dude, maybe you're good friends with CEO, I don't know. But if your VP of engineering is not pounding on a door saying we need to adopt this, you should think about getting a different VP of engineering. But I get why. Because if you're a VP of engineering and you adopt this, you're like, oh my God, if we adopt this, none of my engineers will be writing code anymore. They're probably fearing, maybe it's going to write a bunch of crap code and create bugs or vulnerability, right? It's just a lack of understanding. I get that.
Well, there is this, that's part of this period of building trust in the system, being confident that you're not going to break things. That's when your throughput really starts to 10x. That's why it's the system is the best way to get there, but also the process, it's going to be painful.
Yeah.
So not going to lie.
So that's like one of our organizations, instead of reaching out to VP of engineering saying, listen, you guys got to adopt it, we went someone from the business side because we just don't think VPs of engineering are going to be very receptive to doing something which potentially could reduce their headcount, right?
It depends on
down
the person.
Road. I think once they see 3 months later, holy cow, we are moving at such a massive velocity than we ever been. Like, why get rid of headcount, right? Just, we're moving twice as fast as we were, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times as fast.
Yeah, you just stop needing to hire. You may, if people aren't adopting, you'll see.
Yeah.
But you probably aren't going to need to hire. You want to really get your core group cranking. Aim for 2x, 10x, I don't know. It's about $10 a pull request. So $10 a feature that gets created in tokens.
And by the way, if you're using Devin, it's $10 plus whatever Devin charges you.
Sure. Actually, Anthropic was charging $15 a PR just to review.
Yeah, $15.
I don't know what they're charging now, but no, realistically, you probably want to aim for $20 a PR and work it down to 10. That's an optimized flow. But yeah.
Yeah. So one of the reasons why we on purpose are keep saying CEO, because you have to force this change in organization, because I think human nature, ideally your VP of engineering and your CTO and your senior engineers like, dude, we should adopt this. Ideally that happens, but it's probably not going to happen because there's a lot of fear, right? A lot of developers think they are getting paid to write code and look at a terminal. That is over with. As of July 2026, you don't need to do that, but they still think that. So why would they suggest they adopt a policy of not writing code, which takes away the thing?
And ICs could be suggesting, and management is just,
Yeah.
So we want to jump to the CEO. Come on, make it happen.
Yeah, because the other thing, it's a massive change. It's going to take your org months and months to move to this new paradigm. But once we get there, you're going to see a massive change in velocity. Massive change. Anybody have any more advice to CEOs, Dan?
Ship it.
Ship it. Yeah. Yeah. So we're available. You can go to appvitals.com, book some time with us. We'll help you door atomic.
Yeah, we'll help you navigate this landscape.
Yeah. Or you go to shipwrightharness.com. That is our version. So Devin, you might have heard of it. It's the commercial version. They're raising $1 billion. They have a $25 billion valuation. We, by accident, started building the exact a competitor to them in November. It's called Shipwright. It's open source. You run it in your own network. It's open source. So we'll help you get there. Book some time with us if you want to adopt autonomous coding. We'll steer you in whatever direction you want to be in. All right, that's it. Talk later. Bye.
Yep.